How did you get the rest of the team on board? Like, to pivot between ideas, what was that experience like, knowing that everybody was there because they joined the team first? Were there certain conversations you had to have? I guess from a mechanical or tactical perspective, what did that transition look like to focus now on what Momento is doing?
I think before getting the team on board, the hardest conversation, I think I can speak for both of us when I say this, was actually with each other. Imagine sort of that brewing sense of doubt and wanting to broach the conversation. And this is a big pivot, right? It has nothing to do with each other. So I think it really isn't a testament of our commitment to each other as founders. And I think this is really applicable across the board to any startup, is that you have to be able to talk to each other openly and directly when there's such an important topic on your mind. And luckily for us, I think this definitely strengthened our partnership in the sense that it was really on both of our minds, and it made the conversation very easy to have. It's also, I think, very important to realize that to survive something like this, again, is an attestment of the strength and the benefit of having a co-founder. So we had that conversation. We were actually very quickly aligned on how we were both feeling about the pace of the consumer fitness startup, and we started exploring other ideas, and we sort of got each other excited about the one we eventually landed on. And I think that was really, really profound. It normalized having a pivot. It can be really difficult. It's a sort of an emotional attachment, and we both, I think, in a way, still have this to the original company and to the original ideas. But to recognize that that is not the biggest swing we could take given our backgrounds, and to align between the two of us first. After that, the rest actually felt a lot easier. We started getting support from the VC community, the angels, the advisors and mentors I had mentioned before. A lot of them were actually very encouraging, to hear about the pivot, and relieved in a way to hear that we were able to work it out together. And then the team, we definitely had to have conversations. I think when we recruited a lot of them, the good thing is they came to work with us, as coworkers, as humans, and they didn't come for a particular idea, and they trusted that as long as the team stays together. And it didn't take a whole lot of effort, to be honest, to get everybody on board. I think they were excited, and it was also very quickly we could see some traction, just by talking to our friends and people in our network about the value of the product, getting affirmation along the way.
We share this impatience and sense of urgency, and we're extremely blunt with each other. So which helps a lot, and because this is a very difficult conversation to bring up, like Daniela said, and we're just open about it. And once the two of us are aligned, convincing the team, especially given the way we had hired them, was really straightforward. Everybody here came to make a big impact. They came so that they can look back at their careers and be excited about what they accomplished. And they came to optimize for success, and they were on board once they saw the vision, and they saw the excitement and the utility of what we were proposing.
To me, what stands out is like it feels like it takes a lot of courage to have direct conversations like that, especially about a change. And so, it's not Jerry, I think it sounds like you have a question. My question that I wanted to bring up was like, what conversations did you have to have before all of this happened to set the foundation to be able to talk to each other directly and to have the courage to address big company decisions like this? Like at the very beginning, like was there a certain conversation or a certain thing that you had to calibrate or get on the same page about before you were able to talk about such, I think, important things that co-founders should be talking about openly?
I think there's underlying trust that enables us to tell the other person that here's why this idea may be crazy or not as nice as you may imagine, and to be able to tolerate it when the other person tells you the same thing about your ideas without getting offended, and that the efficiency there is, I think, going to be crucial to our success because we get conversations out of the way really, really quickly. And we debate in a very spirited manner, so much so that we have to tune the way we debate, one-on-one versus, how we carry things in front of the team because, and it's a very interesting style where we will debate really, really passionately about a particular viewpoint. And this happens more often than I would have imagined. Very frequently, we actually just switch sides. And where Daniela gets convinced of what I was telling her to do, and I get convinced of what she was saying, and then we have the same conversation over again. But the cool thing about this foundation of trust and this bluntness, the efficiency, we peel the onion really, really fast. And we get to a decision. It may not be the right decision, but we get to decisions really quickly. And then, like I said, once the two of us are aligned, by the time the two of us end up being aligned, we have thought about it from so many perspectives that it's usually pretty straightforward to bring the team on board. And the team will very frequently come up with feedback as well, and we listen very intently, and sometimes we change our minds there. But at least by the time the ideas get to the team, they have gone through an initial set of bullet shots and refinement.
Yeah, I think having the history of working together and staying in touch, knowing each other for so long, definitely helps provide a foundation for being blunt without risking offending or actually having that devolve into an actual conflict. Even though it can sound very direct and blunt, and like Quad just said, that offers a level of efficiency. And I think we remind each other a lot, and we hope to role model this for the team as well. That a lot of the time, feedback is hard to hear, but it's really how we grow as people is by listening to other people and trying to incorporate their feedback. Sometimes it may be irrelevant, but a lot of the time, if people take the time out of their day to give you direct feedback, it's important to remember not to take it personally. It's important to not get emotional about it and to focus on the topic or the decision at hand. And this is why Quadra also said it gets spirited, but it's never personal attacks on his idea or my idea. It's about whether or not that is something we decide to execute on, and that makes the discussion, no matter how passionate or spirited, very easy to have, and it's easy to keep it professional and again not emotional. And we've done that. Really, we do it every day. So when it came to the pivot conversation, it's sort of a different order of magnitude in terms of importance and strategicness. But on a very small level, little decisions, we make almost all decisions together for better or for worse. But that means that the level of trust when one of us is away or when one of us has to make a decision alone, there's basically complete trust in like how aligned we've been thus far.